Hello, my name is Augusto, and I'm going to talk to you about the person that I most admire in the world. Who is this person? Well, maybe I would like to start by saying that some of you, if not that all, have chosen a person that is real, a real person, like a football player, or a politician, a religious people, president, and that's fine because it's a real person, and I know that this person have managed to get to complete the purpose that he has in their lives, right? But I choose a different person. I choose a person that is not even real, it's a fiction character. And I'm going to tell you why I choose him. Her name is Neferhor. Neferhor first name was his first name was Iki. And he was a slave, a meret. That meret is the word that in the ancient Egypt is used to describe the slaves. He he born in a very poor family, and on a town that it was Ipo. This town was full habitated of slaves, and they work all day in their lands just to survive every day. And well, they have no very much opportunities to get or to be someone in their lives, and so was he. He was the youngest of seven brothers, in which of all the seven brothers, he was the only that survived with her sister Repi. That's because in that time the sickness and the dangers that were in the Egypt were very common. So the mortality, what do you say, Tasa? Where the mortality was very the mortality rate was very high. So, well, he has 10 years old and he start wake up all the day just to work in a line that even not was from him, and he need to well work and survive every day, getting supporting the abuses that the scribe inspector give to him. In that time, there was an inspector named Pepina, as well known, and after that the people start calling him Hekaim. Hekaim was a mocking nickname because its meaning was humanity, or he was it was a synonym of humanity or kindness, and Hekaim or Pepinat was the antonym of that word. He was the world's scribe inspector that were. And like many other inspectors, he has use of his power, and he can do with the crops or in the lands whatever he please. And that was even not enough. He also get involved in many times with the daughters or wives of the workers. So he caused the disgrace or dishonor to the family. And that was as the family of Neferhor. After the mother of Neferhor died, she started to frequent her sister, their only living sister, Repit. Repit was a girl of like 15 years old that she constantly suffered the abuses that the Pinat gave to her. And the worst thing is that she can't do anything because she can go to the police because Hekaim was the police, and he cannot go to the Pharaoh or someone with more power because they will not listen to our simple meret. The only thing that do is, okay, well, I don't know, do whatever you want. So the only thing that she can do is to agree and to listen, ¿verdad? Whatever Pepinat says and wishes, and try to make him feel good, because maybe one time he will leave them alone. And well, if she don't do that, the family will pay the consequences. Well, every child or every girl of 15 years in that time, she was a dreamer, and she dreamed a lot. But she has not the common dream that the girl in the time had, that was like, I don't know, marry with a prince or get a princess, to get very rich or famous, and all those stuff that the girls in 15 years want she was very, or she wished something very much simple, and that was that her brother, go to school so he can become someone. Something very special in Neferhor was that he was a very smart kid. He can, well, he was very quiet and not very social. He spent the most of his free hours in the shore lake, just thinking and reflecting. But maybe that's why the people start calling him Neferhor. That is a synonym of greatness or brightness. Or maybe it's because after all the years that he spent watching the river and watching the flood of the Nile, he can count the crops only by his mind, even if he was an illiterate people. And also he can predict the flood river. And that was a thing that in the times even the smartest or the brightest scribes couldn't do. So when repeat one that Neferhor goes to school, she starts telling to Hekayu, hey, please help my brother, I need that he becomes someone. But Hekayu, the only thing that said was promises and promises, and after that, he started making jokes that your brother is Amoret, he would never become anyone. After that, one day, a supervisor or a supervisor and inspector that go to the fields and see who is doing a well job or who isn't, go to the house of Neferhor and start to see what was the work they're making. So the girl take the opportunity and starts calling him, hey Neferhor, come here, Neferhor, help me in that. So the inspector starts to have a curiosity of why he has a name like Neferhor, because it wasn't a very common name, even more in a town like Ipu that was most of slaves. So the inspector come to Neferhor and told to him, why they call you like that? So the shield answered, well, the people start calling me because I can count the crops of very probably he say, I can count the crops of the fields of the year, and I could even predict the flow of the river. So at the beginning, the inspector didn't believe that. But he decided to make a test to the child, and he asked him to tell which is going to be the flow of the year. So the kid very easily answered to the questions. So when the inspector see what's the potential of the shield, he get very impressed, and he decided to send him to a house of life. In that town, the house of life were like in the schools in Brunei. But the problem is that only the highest people in society could go to the high house of life. So he go to another place, came and he abandoned his family, and after that there were some troubles because he starts, well, he was a child, he has 10 years old, and he starts telling that Pepinat, Hekaib have abuse of their family. So after that, Hekaib, they punish him, they take out her church. So Hekaib get very angry, and after 1 year that Neferhor have lived his town, he killed their father and their only living daughter, the sister that he had. So, and he couldn't do anything because it's supposed that he didn't to disappear. But he starts studying, and he, after the years, become a very intelligent people. And after that, when he get out of the house of life, he starts getting more, he starts ascending, and now he take the job as the royalty or the royalty scribe, like the writer of the pharaoh. He take the message of the pharaoh to another cities, to something like wars or something like that. And there's a lot of history about them. After that, another pharaoh, when Nebmatra died, when Nebmatra died, and another pharaoh arrives, he need to, the new pharaoh condemn him and excite him. So he need to run and start running because he left his family, and a lot of things like that. The only thing I want to say is that maybe that's not a real person in the world, or is not the common stereotype of idealist people. But I admire him so much because he was a simple slave. He was a merit. But because his intelligence and dedicated, he defeat all the obstacles in his life. Well, he also get the support of her family, that was her sister, to help him. And I think that that's very important, to have a family that supports you in the difficulties. Yeah. And also to get to become a British person, to don't say that I'm a simple slave or I'm a simple boy, I can't do that. No, you just believe and work hard enough to